if this video came into your algorithm, then it probably means that you're somebody who experienced a lot of trauma in your childhood, and then that trauma carried over throughout your life until you were an adult. And during that time frame, you lost a lot of trust in the people who were supposed to be taking care of you, or the people that you loved, and maybe you yourself were even not that great to people that you cared about because of coping responses and defense mechanisms, self-sabotaging behaviors, overeating, using substances, alcohol, nicotine, things like that, and possibly being somebody who has a lot of anxiety, depression, and or anger. And after a bunch of chaotic experiences, relationships, friendships, jobs, a lot of self-criticism, a lot of shame, you were like, wow, I really need to get some help. So maybe you started to see a therapist or a coach. You started listening to podcasts or watching videos about all different types of things. So you've done all these things to try to help yourself and heal yourself. And a lot of that's actually really helped, but you can't help but feel like you're kind of stuck still because you still find yourself falling back into old patterns and ways of thinking, and you still have a lot of self-criticism and shame. So if any of that is sounding relatable, then I have a couple questions for you. How often are you intentionally setting aside time to regulate your nervous system? How often are you setting aside time to feel your feelings in your body without judgment? How often are you setting aside time to be creative or be playful without judgment? How often are you setting aside time to check in on yourself throughout the day? How often are you setting aside time to check in on your belief systems and see if they need updating? Check in on your narratives, the way that you view the world, yourself, and other people. How often are you doing inner child work or reparenting or doing something to dismantle the disempowering beliefs that you might have about yourself that tell you that you have to be all or nothing, perfectionistic, you have to be a specific way because society tells you, this person tells you, or this or that? How often are you giving yourself credit? How often are you giving yourself grace? How often are you celebrating yourself? And speaking of your belief systems and the way that you view yourself, the world, and other people, how often are you allowing yourself to be vulnerable and authentic around other people? How often are you allowing other people to be vulnerable and authentic with you without going into defense mechanisms, shutting down, putting up walls, or assuming everyone's out to get you? How often are you building your community and giving back to your community and allowing others to give back to you? How often are you allowing yourself to just be a human who exists on this planet, who's going to make mistakes, who doesn't always have it figured out, who's trying their best? How often are you just allowing yourself to do that without constantly judging and criticizing yourself for not being at this finish line that you've made up for yourself? Anyway, here's my hand if you need to hold it. My name's Sarah. I'm your favorite self-experimenting coach or companion, and I help get people reacquainted with who they most authentically are. You're an amazing person, and I hope you have the best day.